Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at onpurposely.com.
You know, in order to be able to do something well, you got to practice. And let's just say I had quite an opportunity to let go and let God. Hi, it's the Bible for Busy People. I'm Erica, your host, and I found myself in the emergency room in the wee hours of Sunday morning dealing with pain that really just came out of nowhere. My faithful husband was right beside me, but I was freaking out a little bit because I knew what was going to happen next. They were going to have to take my blood, and I've passed out before. It's so frightening, and I know how sick I feel afterward. And the time came, and I did pass out. My husband said I even seized, and when I came to, I have to tell you, it was such a frightening moment for me because I saw two faces, but I didn't know what a face was. I knew absolutely nothing in those moments, but I knew I was trying to reach for a word. God, that was the word I was reaching for. And when they helped me collect myself, got me into a room, the nurse came in and she was so kind. And she told me that she was going to get the IV in, and then she was going to cocoon me in all these warm blankets, and it was going to be fine. And so here we go again, right? And I'm thinking, okay, Lord, there's nothing I can do but just hold my husband's hand and know that you're holding my hand too. And as the nurse inserted the IV, I was trying to think of the words of Psalm 23, and we are going to get to joy bombs in the Psalms, by the way. We're getting there. We're just taking the long way around today. But man, this song swam up in my mind. It's called Come What May, and the words to Psalm 23 are in that song. And God gifted me with a way to remember his word in those moments. And I just want to encourage you right now, if you've been part of the Bible for Busy People family for any length of time, you are hiding God's word in your heart. And when you need it the most, it is going to float up out of your heart where you've hidden it into your mind when you need it the most. And it's going to remind you that God is right there. He's never going to leave you. He's always by your side. And so I had an opportunity to let go and let God, and to trust that the IV was going to go in okay. And it did. Nurse Jenna was amazing. And she did cocoon me in like a pile of warm blankets. And I was snug as a newborn baby. Not just from the warm blankets, though, from the knowledge that my God was there. I saw him in the eyes of my husband, who was looking at me with such compassion. I saw him in the kindness of Nurse Jenna, who was talking about this mushroom coffee that she's been sampling to take my mind off the situation. I saw him in so many places in my moments of distress. And I want to encourage you that he is going to be with you the next time you have to let go and let God, the next time you have to trust him and you're terrified. You know, I want to read you a verse and then tell you what it means in Hebrews, because now we are going to dive into the Psalms. It is Friday. We are going to discover some joy bombs together. So Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. You may have heard that before. We've studied this verse before. You know what that phrase actually means in Hebrew? It means surrender in order that you may know. You know, in those moments when the IV was about to go in, I could feel my body tightening up. And as I relaxed, and as I took lots of deep breaths, and as I focused on Psalm 23 and how the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, I was able to let go of the fear and grab hold with both hands the peace that God wanted to give me in those moments. Honestly, I can say I'm grateful for the experience. Would I want to go through the whole passing out thing and the having to try the IV again? No, but I'm grateful that it happened, because it was just another reminder to me that God is real. He keeps his promises and he truly cares. He's right there. Okay, join me now in Psalm 62 as you and I continue to marinate on what it looks like to let go and let God. Listen to these declarative statements as we begin. I wait quietly before God, for my victory comes from him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress, where I will never be shaken. I want to pitch a mini tent here and say, in those moments when I was on that hospital bed, I did feel like I was in a fortress where I couldn't be shaken. My spirit was strong, even though my flesh was weak. And that was beautiful. Verse 3 now, so many enemies against one man, all of them trying to kill me. To them, I'm just a broken down wall or a tottering fence. They plan to topple me from my high position. They delight in telling lies about me. They praise me to my face, but curse me in their hearts. Let all that I am wait quietly before God, for my hope is in him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress where I will not be shaken. David repeating himself here. My victory and honor come from God alone. He is my refuge, a rock where no enemy can reach me. Oh, my people, trust in him at all times. Pour out your heart to him, for God is our refuge. Yes, God is such a good listener, and he is a safe place, a safe person who you can trust and pour out your heart to. You know what King David writes in Psalm 116? I think it's verse 2. I'll put it in the show notes. Because he bends down to listen, I will pray as long as I have breath. There is a God who bends down his ear to listen to your cares and your concerns, a God who invites you to cast your cares upon him. You can let go of those cares, knowing our faithful Father cares for you. That thing that you can't let go of is safer in the hands of Jesus. Take a moment before the sun sets tonight and place it in his hands. Let go and let God. And I'll keep on doing it too. All right, until next time, you are really loved. Thank you for making time for the Bible for Busy People today. If being part of this community is a blessing to you, it's super easy to share this podcast with someone you love. We're all about spreading the hope of Jesus like butter. So if you've got a moment to write a review, boy, we'd really appreciate that. Maybe you need a little prayer today, or you're ready to take that next step with God. I invite you to check out our show notes. You're going to find lots of encouragement there. This podcast is one branch on a tree called Purposely, a podcast network designed with practical podcasts to help you find and thrive in God's purpose for your life. If you've got a pulse, you've got a purpose.